Yay! Hello, everybody. It is myself and Comics here with two people today. One of them is my co host, interviewee, Tristan from Nerdette's Newsstand.
Yay!
And we are
That's
both.
all you get, because
That's all I get.
Worthy Chaos, Carissa is the important one here.
That's
No,
true.
never.
And then we were both interviewing Corissa Grant, who is the comic creator of Worthy Chaos.
Yes, co-creator. Me and my
Co-creator.
I wrote with a partner, and I don't know if she's watching, but her name's Jessica, and she's awesome. And hi, dead guy. Hi, everyone. But actually, the story is a little unique because we wrote it already. It's already been written in 5 novels we wrote for fun. So we were role players, and we just kind of got carried away with our story. Yes, redemption. And so Jessica, who's a better writer than me, wrote with me because I'm just lucky that way. And she'll say I'm better, and I say she's better. So we are just boost each other up and hate our own writing. So. But in 2.5 years, we wrote 10 novels. And
wow.
Yeah. And they're not short either. They're like 90,000 words. So.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. And 5 of them is this series. The other 5 is the spinoff that we're still writing daily because we're obsessed. And yeah, the story, because it's written in RP format, it's not something we would have or could have printed without it being destroyed, by merging it or whatever. So we were just going to read it for ourselves. And then one day I was searching for art for our characters just to see them. And I said, these are all too cartoony. And I said, do you want to do a comic maybe? And she's like, yeah, let's do a comic. And now we're doing a comic. So. So, yeah.
So what you're doing is taking your novels, and that is so cool.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see it because we already know how it goes. But while we're converting it into scripts, we get to see it like it's all over again. So it's fun to see. It's like it's not new, but it's kind of new to us. And hi, Random. And don't forget I was like I have the habit of ADD and reading the chats. So, but yeah.
No difference with us. So
yeah.
I told you, you're fit right in, man. You're right in.
So the way the story is written, and most people can tell, but she writes for Draven, the main male character, and I write for Serafina. And then we kind of take turns with everyone else. And she's trying to join but can't. I'm there, and it says create a channel to chat. I don't know. I don't know how.
You want me to send the link?
Well, I think she might. Does she need a YouTube channel? She would need a YouTube channel, right?
No, you should. No, you don't need a channel to join. You just click the link, and it'll bring you in, add your avatar and your name, and you're good to go.
The adding is optional. It's going to ask if you want to pair a channel if you have one. If you don't, then you just go pair without channels or something like that.
No, but if she joins watching it on YouTube, can she watch it without a YouTube channel?
Oh, yes. To watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, to watch. Oh, yeah, you should be able to watch without a YouTube channel.
And she won't be able to comment without a channel, but she'll be able to watch, no problem.
Oh. Okay. She'll be able to watch.
It's been such a long time since I've been logged out of YouTube, and I'm like, oh, that's right, I can't comment or I have to be signed in.
She must have a channel because she watches stuff. Don't you? This is the whole live stream is me trying to figure out how to get my co-writer to watch. A account. But anyway, hopefully she'll be able to get on. We'll see. I don't know if she can get on She has poor internet, but usually she can get on. I can ask her if she wants to join the channel. But as for the story, so when we wrote the story, we started as role players, and it's like I'll write a chapter, and then she'll write a chapter with her character's reaction to whatever we did, and then she would add to that chapter, and we would continue it. And that's what we did for 2.5 years. And I think now it's probably further, but when we started this spinoff, we were up to like 800,000 words. So it must be like way above that. Yeah, I'm watching it, and I'm signed into YouTube on my channel.
Don't mind me.
Whoa, that's trippy.
You have to do this before you share like whatever screen you want. It's dumb, I know, but like, blame this, not me.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the StreamYard or anything. I have a YouTube channel, and I have like 3 subscribers because I've never once done anything with it. So yeah, that's mine.
So the whole idea of starting a comic came because you guys wanted to see your characters? You wanted to see what they look like?
That is the only reason it started.
That is so cool.
We jumped into everything. Yeah, we jumped into it. So, like, I've had this story idea for 17, well, by the time I met her, it's 15 years. And I would role play with other people, and I had this role. And I would write with all these awesome people, and they all wanted the role because I'd get excited, I'd talk about it, and I'm like, no. I said, I'm saving it, which actually now when I think back is incredibly rude. It's like, yeah, you're not good enough for my story. But yeah, I wrote for 15 years until I finally saw a character of hers that she logged on, and whatever kismet or whatever, I said, I need to add this person. And my husband's like, you add people all the time. I was like, I need to add this person. And I don't know why. We say it was our characters knew each other. But so I added her, and she rarely accepts, and then she accepted mine. And I think a day into talking, she sent me a reply, and I was like, you need to take my role. And she's like, I never take roles. And I was like, but she's like, I'll take this role. And I was like, okay. So I sent her the longest starter of my life. And yeah, that's it. For 2.5 years, we've been writing nonstop. And we just get more and more obsessed with it the more we write about it. And you think we'd get tired of it because it's like, we wrote, so technically this is probably, it was 5 books and 7 issues each. So 35 issues are already written for this series.
Wow.
Yeah. And we started the second series for this, but we got like 3 or 4 issues into it when we had to do something crazy and said, let's do a spinoff. Because in this story, it's kind of depressing. In the first 2 pages, it kind of starts kind of crazy. And her parents are slaughtered by her brother, who's a demon. And she calls up her soulmate and tells him not to come to the house because her brother just killed her parents. And they were supposed to run away together. So she's telling him, don't come to the house. And of course, the first thing he does is go to the house. He goes in the front door. She jumps out the back window, and he calls her. And as she turns around to realize he's back there, she gets hit by a car. And then
holy crap,
he slips in her blood, and then 4 seconds later is arrested for hers and the parents' murder. So that's like the first 2 pages. So they think each other's dead for 10 years. And during those 10 years, she trains as a supernatural hunter because she wants to get revenge for her soulmate. And he trained as an assassin because the government gave him you can either go to jail for murder or you can become, military. So when they wound up 10 years later, they had no idea that they were still alive. And they have kind of a unique past that they don't know about yet. She's an angel descendant, and he's a demon descendant. And their fathers are what causes all the things to happen to them. Like, they're manipulating them. They pretty much mess with their entire lives. So pretty much the story is a survival horror romance adventure story where they get tested, and you can see the bounds, the boundary of which they haven't found yet, but the boundary of what they would do for the other person. And it's very intense, and the name Worthy Chaos fits it to a T because it's very chaotic. The first issue is they meet up in the town. The demons led him there and the angels led her there, and now they're trapped in the town that's merging with hell. And they are stuck fighting against zombie mermen and hellhounds, ghosts, zombie Anubis, and the worst, I think, is the humans there. But so that's the whole, generally her whole first, the issue. They're trapped in there, and then a lot happens, and I can't give it away because I get yelled at all the time, because I could give tons of spoilers. and I could talk for hours on this, about this story, but it's, people say, what's the elevator pitch, and I always say it's Buffy meets Supernatural in Silent Hill with Evil Dead roaming around. And so
that's a hell of a combination.
I love it.
It's a crazy thing. I give up. It says I can't chat. Oh, but she says I'm damn awesome. She's the awesome one. So
that's right. You heard it here. Jessica's the awesome one.
Yes. We always call each other soul writers, because I don't know how it's possible, but we come up with all these ideas and we never argue about it. Like, someone's like, don't you guys butt heads? No, like, never. No, we just, this is the idea, and I'm like, shit, we have to do this now. And it's kind of weird, because these books, which you would never know, they're in order. We didn't write them in order because we would come up with this amazing idea and then we'd have to write it. Like, we have to write this idea. And so we'd skip to that and write it, and then be like, well, now we gotta find a way to connect it. And we'd go back to and that's so we have all these cool, weird stories going on. And it just, like, we have a zombie island in the spinoff, and in this one we have the zombie infested town for book 3. So that's our favorite, because we love zombies. But
what gave you guys the idea to write this character separately?
So what happens is it wasn't to write the story. It was, we were role players, and I was dyslexic. Well, I'm dyslexic. I didn't go away. and when
she got cured and got it again.
Yeah, right. I mean, I hate when that keeps coming back. But when I started 17 years ago, I would write one-liners, and that's pretty much all I could write. And then 2 years, I progressed to para, which, like, I don't know, 3-4 sentences, and then I progressed to multi-para, and then I would see novelaires, and I would be like, I'll never write that much. That is a lot of writing. And then somebody came and said, here, I'll show you, it's easy. And I was like, I don't know, that's a lot of writing. So I finally progressed to, I think before I met my soul writer, I think it was like 1,000 was a big thing. I wrote 1,000 words. And now with her, she's actually worse than me, but I think she wrote her longest, I think it's either 7,000 or 9,000, somewhere between 7,000 and 9,000 words. And I think mine was 8,000 words. So we kind of shorten it, just because we send each other teasers, because we're so obsessed. We need to read some of it now. So we'll send teasers back and forth. But I think this week, and she's on a roll, she wrote 4,000 words, I think, Friday. And then I wrote 4,000. I think I wrote like 3,000 every day this week. And I just wrote an epilogue to the end of the spinoff. And that was like 2,000 words. So we'll just sit down and write. We don't put any thought into it whatsoever. We'll sit down. She thinks way more than I do, so she gets more credit. She says, I don't know how you write so fast. I was like, because I don't think. I'm not as good a writer as you. I just write. And if it makes sense, it makes sense.
It's the improv part. Yeah.
It really is. So the thing about the difference between us is, and she's going to say no, but it's true. She's the writer, where she writes it the way a novelaire would write, an author writes it, and she has proper sentences, and she has proper show, don't tell, and all that fancy stuff. And I don't. I'm shy. I tell everything, which is why it's perfect for a comic book. I tell everything. Like, when I write, I literally just tell you what's happening, and and it's great. So not true. It is true. He's like, that's not true. No. But yeah, she's the real writer. I don't care what she says. But I am the storyteller. I tell the story. And she says that I lead the story, and I don't. But I do have a lot of crazy ideas. I will tell you, when I first started, she keeps saying it's my role. I'm gonna yell at my phone the whole time. She says it's my role. All I told her about the role was they knew each other as teenagers. He's gonna be trained as an assassin. I didn't even give her a name. She took that and turned it into an amazing character. And I even told her, listen, my character is going to be completely in love with your character, but I don't want to control it. So if you don't feel that kind of, bond
Vibe.
yeah, I was like, you just write them the way you want to write them. But it was like the second or third reply, they're like already, you could tell there's that bond growing. And as our bond grew, their bond grew, and you could tell in the writing how, especially with, so Serafina is a badass chick, and she's very stubborn. Not as stubborn as Draven, but she's very stubborn. And in the very beginning, you can even tell, like I'm going to say the whole first book probably, she'll go first into rooms where, monsters are. She'll push them out of the way, or she'll, make stupid risks. And then you can kind of see there's this pivotal point in book 2 where she finally lets him lead. Like, she'll let him go into a room first, and she'll stay behind him when he does something, being all protective and shit. But we didn't do it on purpose. It literally, I just noticed. I was like, listen, my badass bitch just hid behind Draven. So obviously she's yielding to him. She's relying on him more. So you could see that their bond definitely grows. And what happened? Oh, show your plushies. I have my plushie right here. But most
It's so cute. I love it so much.
Perfect. Yeah, this is my my plushie Anubis, who actually has a staff that he holds. And he is awesome. And on the Kickstarter too, but everyone made fun of me. They're like, you have too many gadgets and gimmicks, and I was like, no,
gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Yes, but I bought these for me and my co-writer, and then it became tax deductible offering it to other people, and that's why it is for sale. But we are so obsessed with the story that we had to have everything imaginable. I mean, name it and we've made it. We have a plushie. We have the 3D bust of Anubis. We have our characters. Her character is Draven, who is kick-ass, by the way. He's very sarcastic, and they're both sarcastic, but he's since we wrote it first, that's why it's chapters for the issues. But when we wrote it first, especially him, the way she wrote him was perfect. He would think a lot, like think all the time, and barely spoke at all. So in the comic, you could see like he's mostly has thought bubbles. And
wait, you brought back thought bubbles? I love it already.
Oh, let's go.
It's thought bubbles galore.
Yes, I love it.
Well, the best part of a novel is to get inside their head. And I want people to get inside their head because
yes,
their bond is mostly, them thinking about the other person and not saying it because they're very cut off from each other after 10 years. Like somebody's like, shouldn't they like, run to each other and then kiss and like be in love and happy? And I was like, fuck that. No. Like, they think the other one was dead. And when they first meet up, they think it's fake. He thinks it's a nightmare. She thinks it's a trick. He's more stuck in the dream part where she's just like, whatever, it's a trick, whatever. But he's just like, even when like a monster's coming, he's like, even if it's a dream, I gotta protect her. Like I gotta take care of her. So yeah, he thinks it's a dream until, like I think in the middle of issue 2 where he finally kind of relents, like, so it's not a dream. But he didn't believe in anything supernatural before this situation. So he's like, my favorite page that we drew together, or that we wrote together, was well, they're all my favorite, but one of the favorites is they get chased into this park by ghosts, and she slams the gate shut, and it's iron, so they can't go past it. And he goes, "What the hell are those?" And she's like, "Ghosts." He's like, "Bullshit, they don't exist." And she's like, "Put your hand through the bars." And he's like, "No thanks." And
Wimp.
Yeah. So he's just like, "Are you like a Ghostbuster now?" And oh no, he said, "Why don't they go over?" And she goes, "Shh, don't give him any ideas." And he's like, "Really?" She's like, "No, not really." She's like, they just can't cross iron. I don't make the rules. I just use them. And that's like my whole favorite interaction between the two of them. But yeah, we torture our characters nonstop, emotionally and mentally and physically.
Dramatically, you got to add all of that in there. That's how you make a good story.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even really have a true conversation until issue 4, which I loved writing. I loved converting it because I didn't want to. The worst part, I should say, about converting from the scripts to the two scripts from the novel is we have to decide which dialogue to use, and I love it all. So I generally use it all, which makes it more panels. And it, like, I think issue 1, this was, if anyone wants to do a comic book, this is the biggest tip in the world. You can't have all the dialogue you want in like one page. When I was doing it, the letterer's like, you have to see the art, right? And I was like, oh, that's kind of important. So I think I had to cut it directly in half. So I actually wrote 2 scripts, or we edited 2 scripts, because we had to cut it in half and be like, well, we have script 1 and 2 now. Hence there being 3 issues now. But yeah, when that's the toughest part. So the first time they get to kind of slow down, and when I say to slow down, I mean for 4 seconds before vampires, crash the party and they cut off its head. But generally they got to slow down for 4 seconds. And they got to talk about, oh, you're real, and this is what happened, and and all that stuff. So they get 5. We give them 5 seconds to breathe every couple of issues, but not for long, because we don't know how to go slow. Everything's chaotic and crazy. So
no mushy stuff, straight to the action.
See, that's why. It's not tough to be like, it's not a romance novel, but they love each other beyond any measure of doubt. So it does have that intense love story, but there's no mushiness to it. So it's kind of tough to be like, advertise it as, oh yeah, they're incredibly in love, but they're ripping out guts and cutting off things' heads. So I mean, enjoy. So I mean, it's kind of, we call it the horror adventure, but it's focused on them. But there's a lot of cool characters in it, and we have angels and demons, and you would think certain ones are good and certain ones are bad, and they kind of they betray each other back and forth, but they rely on certain ones that you normally rely on. So it does have a very complex story to it, and I'm hoping we can release all of them. A publisher once told me that no one's ever going to read past like issue 3, and I was like, well, then you have the wrong story, because my stories are going to read past 3. I know that. It's like, well, they're never going to stay for 35 issues. And I was like, you know what? I'll just print them for us. I don't care.
I mean, that's not true, though. Think about, like Nightwing. That's on issue 100 right now. Right. There is longevity and good storytelling, and that's what people crave. They really do.
Well, you fall in love with these characters, and you go through the story with them, and you want to experience what they experience. Especially them, because they have such a unique view on it. And I will guarantee you the story is never boring, because we were role players. We have to get the other one to write back. So it was like, you have to do this. So a lot does happen. And especially, like I said, page 2, the parents are slaughtered. So it's not, you don't have to wait long for any event. There's no slow burn here. It's like
the orphans.
Yeah.
The orphans.
But yeah. So I mean, it wasn't the real parent. That's the human parents. But their real parents is, I don't know if you could really see them here, but his is the demon, the chaos demon, and hers is the Remnal angel. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know if it's funny or not, but the interesting thing is, when we wrote this, the only thing I had written before I met her was the angelic weapon, which I came up with 17 years ago. It's the weapon that Remnal, the angel of judgment of souls. So most of our angels and demons are all based on true scriptures. So whatever their duties or jobs or whatever they had done in scripture or in myths is what their personality is like. Because we love Supernatural, but nobody they picked were who they were. You know what I mean? Like none of them. Like Abaddon is, I don't know if you've watched Supernatural, but it was supposed to be both a bad and a good demon that actually lived in a bottomless pit, in hell. And this is just some random person being bad.
I watched the Scooby-Doo crossover.
That was great. I love crossovers, and I'm talking to at least 3 other indie creators that we're going to crossover with.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, because one of them, I don't know if you know Rob Motari, he has Voodoo Wolf, and if you don't know, you gotta look him up.
Is he the guy who does the werewolf comics?
Yes.
The Scottish werewolf.
Yes. Yeah. So I saw him and I met him in because we've been talking online and all that, but he was at a convention near me and I went and met him and I was like, oh, I need all of these. So I said, we need to do a crossover. And I said, but you have to be aware, my chick is a supernatural hunter. So she's going to want to hunt your character. So we're going to have to make it a way where either he saves her life and Draven doesn't kill him before he doesn't, or something interrupts them and they have to work together because otherwise she's going to kill him. And he's like, that's great. And the thing with Draven is he's super, super protective of her. And if she's not around, I mean, he's a demon. So if she's not around to calm him down, he'll go berserk, So if something happened to her and he was left there with the werewolf, it would not go well. So I was like, we'll have to do a little planning. But also, if you know Path of the Pale Rider with Lori, she's got it, and if you don't, again, you got to look it up. It is cowboys and zombies, so there's no reason to not look this up. And she has 2 issues out. We're gonna cross over with her, and she already knows my character so well because she's like, oh, we can have my character Jude kiss Seraphina's hand, and I was like, oh, he's so getting punched. She's like, I know that. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's so I was like, yeah, anyone that could know my character enough to know that he's going to punch them is perfect in my eyes.
Almost sounds like abuse. Yeah, he's gonna get punched. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So most of the time we kind of like to bring in characters that we could make Draven jealous because
I love it.
It's just jealous. Draven is like the coolest character out there. And he's such a badass that he's just like, he tries not to kill people because Seraphina might be upset. But that's pretty much the only thing that stops him from like slaughtering everyone. So they do share a soul. So if Seraphina disappears or something happens to her, he will go dark, which is what happened in their last life, which kind of led to this entire war going on, which will happen in the prequel. But because of this that happened, she was taken away from him and he went completely dark. And that's when like all his demon-esque came out. So I can't wait to write the prequel. We already wrote 5 issues of that, but it's going to be like I think we're just going to do 5 books for everything because we're upset that they stole the story, Never Ending Story, because we have never ending stories for these characters. And I just wrote the epilogue today, mostly because I was having withdrawals because she doesn't write on weekends and it kills me. It kills her not to write. Her husband's home, so she can't write, but
dang it, Jessica.
What? Yeah, Jessica.
Do your job, Jessica.
Oh, she wants to, but he's like my husband. If they're in the room, they talk and we love them to death. But we're just like, we just want to write. We just want to write. And we would. Like we already decided that after we die, we're just gonna be ghostwriters and no one.
Nice.
A literal ghostwriter.
You gotta add that in.
Somehow.
She just wrote, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. She told me all morning, she's like, I want to write so bad. I was like, I want you to write so bad. So the only way for me to get through my withdrawal is I want to write the epilogue. And we're not even to book 5 into the spinoff yet. But we wrote the epilogue and I was like, oh, I got a surprise for you. And we decided we write the ending first, generally. So we wrote the ending of book 5, the first series, series 1 of the spinoff. And at the very end of the epilogue, there's a war started. So it's going to be heaven and hell against them. So they bring in or recruit, I guess, Anubis with his army of mummies, and it's going to be Hades and Hecate with their army of the undead. So it's going to be like a whole war going on. But yeah, we kind of got obsessed with more and more. Like the more and more we write, the more obsessed we get. We always say we're addicted to the obsession. Like it's just story is life is what we should just put on tattoos on our bodies. But yeah, so for the spinoff, the reason why we wrote the spinoff, and I know I'm very ADD when I'm talking, I'm sorry. But when you have we have 75 issues written, so so it's like all over the place. But I wanted to say the reason
what happened to 35?
35 is this series 1, and then we have another 30 for the spinoff, and then we have 5 for the prequel, and maybe 3 or 5 for series 2 in this redemption. But
I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, because something that you said when I was listening to you on Ted Guy's stream that really piqued my interest in this was that you have Easter eggs.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the Easter eggs? Because I think that is probably like one of the coolest ideas I have heard in comics in a very long time.
So each issue has an Easter egg from either a horror movie, game, or urban legend. And if in each book, when we release the graphic novel at the end of the 7 issues, whoever finds all of the Easter eggs will get one of the 3D Anubis prints out, the statues, one of these. So my brother wants it, but he reads the script, so you don't get an Easter egg when it's listed in the script. But yeah, so the first one I'm going to give away because it's actually what started the whole thing, and I want people to get an idea of where it is because because I told someone about it and they still couldn't find it, and I was like, your eyes went past it because you don't know to look for it. I will tell you, you will need to have played Resident Evil 2 to get some of the Easter eggs. But for the
next
one,
play, let's play Tristan.
Yep, yeah, that's where we're going.
So I wish I'd put the I don't think I did. I wish I had put the page up there because I don't know if you'll see this. I should probably just add it now.
Jessica made it. Just wanted to let you know.
Where? Oh, hey, you weren't late. You've been listening. That counts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and my husband just came home. You can hear the barking of the dogs. And you hear him go, shh. Yeah, we all heard the dogs. So for the very first one, and I do regret that it's not in there, and I'm wondering if I can add it real quick. Oh no, I'm on the wrong computer. All right. So if you can zoom in on this page, you could see.
Don't worry, I got it.
That's okay. I like looking at your picture. That's cool. Okay.
Thank you.
So this is the page where they get to first see each other on, of course, he tackles to the ground. But so she's being chased by the hellhound through the alley. And right by it, and I suck because I never know which way to go. But by his feet right there is an alligator in a sewer. That is the first Easter egg.
That is so cool.
Oh, frick. That'd be so scary in real life. But I live in Florida. I'm sure that should be normal.
Yeah. So the reason why, the Elisa, but we should have Bigfoot. He actually asks, he goes, is Bigfoot real? And she's like, not that I know of, but we might have to have Bigfoot. So the reason why there is the alligator in the sewer is 2 reasons. One, it's an urban legend, but also the reason why I started writing in the first place was I saw a commercial for this. Is way too much of me. There.
Sorry.
Oh no.
It's too close. So what started the whole writing thing, and that I got blessed enough to meet Jessica, so it's like my favorite thing in the whole wide world, is Resident Evil 2. I was watching a commercial, and all I remember of this commercial was this crocodile in the sewer comes out to try to get the main character, Leon. And I don't know what it was about this damn commercial, but I made my parents I said, I don't care what holidays come up. I need a PlayStation because I need to get this. This is how much I wanted it. I didn't even have the system. I was like, we need to go get a PlayStation and we need to go get this game. And my parents were like, you're crazy. And I was like, yep, let's go get this game. So we bought PlayStation, and we went to rent the game that had no instructions whatsoever. And I kept walking. Yeah, I kept walking Leon into the fire. And I said, this game sucks. I hate it. I don't want to play it anymore. And I threw the controller against the wall. And my older brother comes in, picks it up, starts playing like there's nothing. And I kicked him out. So I was like, I got this. So I started playing. And whatever reason is, I became obsessed with it. And I went out and bought the game, got mad because it had auto aim, which I missed for the first 6 hours of playing. But that was it. I wanted to RP this character. And so I started for 17 years. I RP'd Claire Redfield from Resident Evil, and I had other characters too. When I met Jessica, I'm trying to think of who the hell I had. Faith. I had Faith from Buffy.
Good. So it's good to have Faith.
Yeah. So I had Faith, and I said, "Do you want to push Faith into like?" And she had Daryl from The Walking Dead. And I said, do you want to push it where they're like doing like Resident Evil type stuff? Because I wanted to do this story so bad. And she's like, sure. So I sent her one reply for the, regular zombies or whatever. She replied back. And then I'll never forget it. I'm like, will you take this role? I never offer people roles. Will you take this role? And she's like, I never take roles. And sure, I'll take it. So that was it. And then we've been obsessed ever since. So, but yeah. So that's our entire first series. One is just them fighting and trying to stop the war between heaven and hell. And it, like I said before, it's definitely never boring because we don't do boring.
So the different Easter eggs that you have, they're all from different horror concepts in media?
Yep. I'm trying to think. I know there's one more thing from Resident Evil. There's something from 3 or 4 horror movies. Oh, maybe 5 horror movies. And some of them are hints. I won't say what it is because it'll give away. And I get yelled at all the time. But I will tell you, no matter what spoilers I give you, it won't make you not want to. If anything, it'll make you want to read it more because you're like, that happens? So it doesn't really matter what the spoiler is. But yeah, so each one has it. It can be an article of clothing that is popular with that character. It can be something from the game, like an item, and all that fun, crazy stuff. And that was the fun part of trying to be like, what can we put in here that we won't get in trouble, like licensing wise, and get in trouble for sticking in our story, but that someone would know. And but we also have little things that I might see if people will notice. But again, I'll give you issue 1s away. So, and Jessica might kill me but it's too obvious this time. So she can't kill me. But so when you watch a horror or any movie and you turn on the TV and it just happens to tell you exactly what's going on that they need to know, like it's the
silver bullet kills werewolves.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it's always like what's going on. And I forgot which one we just watched a movie that did that too, where it popped on and it's like, oh, the people are trapped down, blah, 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 and they did this. And they're like, oh, we have to get there. So it was kind of a joke to that, kind of a nod to that. But so she turns on the TV right after she wakes up and the news bulletin comes on and it tells you about all these demon omens, just the perfect timing that the demon omens are in this town that she has to go to. But if you notice, the TV is unplugged. And there's an angel outside. It's the angel creating the newscast so that she'll go to town and get caught there. So a lot of people wouldn't get that. But once you get into the story, you realize like, oh, shit, it's unplugged. There's something outside the window. So it's kind of like we put a lot of little things in the background. And we always look things up, too. Like we make sure it can actually happen. Like she punches a shark. We looked up to make sure that would actually affect it, even though it's better to pull on its gills or whatever. But yeah, you could punch a shark in the nose. But there's one like, I don't know if you know the lore of ghosts and, demons or whatever. But she stabs one of them with a rebar. And after I did it, I was like, wait, is there any iron in a rebar? So I found out that there's 99% iron in stainless in steel. So yes, rebar has 99% iron. So it worked out. But we did a lot of research for it.
I can tell the research you're doing is freaking insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you guys even have an editor for this since you both are writing?
No, but no, not really. My brother says he's the editor so that he could put his name in the cover, but mostly we just look it over and over and over and over again, and we never get tired of it. Thank God, because we read it over and over. Like I'll read it. She'll send me a teaser. I think the last one she sent me, fortunately, was like I think it's up to 5,000 words. I've read it probably every hour, like the last 24 hours straight. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I gotta read it again. So I do not get tired of reading her writing. I skip mine, and she skips hers and reads mine. So I guess it worked out perfect. But yeah, we did a lot of research, but the most research we did was like the demons. And it was really, really interesting because her father was always Remnal. He's the judgment of souls. And after we pretty much wrote, I think, almost all the novels, I told her, well, Draven needs a father. And he has to be a demon. We never came up with the name. We just said we didn't want it to be Lucifer. It was going to be Lucifer. Like, that's too obvious. So she found this awesome one, Asmin, and she didn't realize how awesome it was until she sent it to me. And I was like, do you know that he's immune to lightning and Remnal's weapon is lightning? And do you know that he eats souls on the Judgment Bridge, where Remnal takes his souls over the bridge? And so it worked out so perfectly that it was meant to be, and it wasn't on purpose. It just worked out that way. And the same thing with her powers are light and healing, and if she gets majorly injured, she can heal with like really boiling hot water, which sucks. But later on, after I did it, and she was a fallen star when she came, but later when I was trying to find her mom, I was like, oh, there's this Celtic goddess named Serona that she's the goddess of hot springs, of healing hot springs, and it worked out so perfectly. And I was like, that just fits. So like everything just fit perfectly. And the more we did it, and there's a rat in the spinoff that's her guardian, and we named him Apollo, and he has a little sun thing.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
And I didn't. And it was so funny because I said, hey, it would be really cool if Apollo, the god, sent the rat to her because he's the lord of rodents. And then later on, I found out that her goddess mother is actually affiliated with Apollo. So it just all connected, crazily weird. So it just made us more obsessed with it. So yeah.
You guys got books on everything, on zombies, on mythological stuff, Celtic stuff. Yes. Gosh, give me all those books too.
Well, because it's funny because so we for the next issue 4, it's zombies, it's vampires for I think the rest of the book, and we did a lot of research in it, and a lot of the things that people do aren't what vampires really were. Like, they don't fear the sun. They just don't go into it because it's sun. I mean, they're shadows, but they don't get burned or anything in it. So ours don't get burned. We call it a subspecies so someone can't yell at us and say, oh, it's not a vampire.
But do they glitter?
Vampire.
They do not glitter.
Thank God.
Oh, no, Tristan. They don't have a fear of the sun. They don't have anything for garlic, nothing for crosses or stakes.
Yes, none of that works for ours. And the funny thing is, so I always hated the mirror thing because a rock doesn't have a soul, but it winds up in a mirror. But originally in the mythology, it was because the old mirrors were made out of silver. So they were saying that they couldn't be seen because it was silver. And they just ran with that for years. Modern days don't even have that. And then the other thing is stabbing them in the heart doesn't work. It used to be to trap them into their coffin. It wasn't per se to kill them. It was just to trap them there. So yeah, no glitter. Yeah, Jessica's like, no glittery vampires. But we call them clotters because they're, in all the stories, if they get cut, they bleed, but they don't have a heartbeat. So how are they bleeding? So with ours, their heart beats every 6 hours, which is just enough to prevent rigor mortis. So if you cut them, and I didn't think it would be as gross, but it's way grosser. If you cut them, it comes out like a clotted, disgusting blood-soaked mess of like pudding. It's disgusting.
Dang, I was gonna say I want my heart to beat every 6 hours, and now I'm like, maybe not. Even if people are cutting me up for science, I don't want that on them.
So you can stab them, you can stake them, but unless it's around that 6-hour mark, it won't do anything. So it's better to burn them or chop their heads off. And we just like to chop the heads off, right, Jessica? Yeah. So I think page 2 is where the mom's head is chopped off. So we are very familiar with chopping off heads. But also, if they don't feed regularly, they start to decompose, which we love because we love zombies. So it's kind of like, a zombie, they just part vampire and a zombie.
And zombie merman apparently too.
Yeah,
love
zombie
that.
merman was very unique, and that was like a last minute thing where like it kind of looks like a zombie, but it's definitely a merman. So we're just it's a zombie merman. And then we just had to switch out because I think we had it bite her, and we like, oh, I can't do that yet. So we changed it up a little bit. But each book, they're all connected. Like all 5 books connects, but like book 1 is in Helltown, and they go through all this, craziness, and then it never slows down, but it balances out a little bit. But then in book 2, they get trapped in a haunted asylum where they have to figure out how to get out by solving like you never saw no, I'm too old for that. I'm way older than all you guys probably, but there was this old game called Seventh Guest, and you had to figure out the ghost story to kind of get out of it. And they have to do that in a way. And then after book 3 is all of our Resident Evil 2 homage, because they're trapped in an infested city. There's a secret with it, but they are trapped, and Anubis is there, and he kind of stalks them. Seventh Guest, yes, I knew someone would know it. It's a really weird game with these really hard puzzles, which I did pretty good at, except for one. I had to cheat and look it up, so I cheated.
Cheater.
Anyway, yeah, I know. It was some weird puzzle where you had to line up. I don't even remember. I just remember I hated it. But it was a really good story and all that stuff, and it's old. But anyway, so book 3 would be them through the zombies and stuff, and laboratory type, monsters, and Anubis stalks them like Nemesis did in the game. And then book 4 and 5, they're kind of like on an island. They go to hell. They travel everywhere. So any monster you want to see is probably somewhere in our story. So, but yeah, there's a lot in there, and we'll probably have a plushie for them all anyway. So
I love the plushies. What I gotta ask, because I just backed it, and I was going through the different pledges, and so what is the song? I'm like, passion alone, this deserves to be backed.
So the song is Jessica and I had got it commissioned for the lyrics, the vocals, the music, everything was written just for our comic. The lyrics are actually posted if you go down, and it's all about them and their love and the demons and the angels and all that stuff. But yeah, there's if you keep going down, and you can show people the pages if you want to show internal pages. That's the covers. And I just had someone send me a commission. Oh snap, that is good. I shouldn't have my phone on me. A lot of details, zombified. It's awesome. It's epic.
I'm sorry, I just I like these covers.
Oh, so that cover there
that I take my time.
That cover you just passed is actually from Ian Chase Nichols, who did The Tick and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So he's an amazing guy. I mean, he's the nicest guy on the planet. But I have to send this to Jessica. Jessica, I'm sending you the cover.
$1 million.
What?
What?
I got distracted. I don't know if you know. Oh, that's even better. I don't know if you know Kent Hunt. He works at DC. He's doing an Anubis cover for us. And he goes, can I make it zombified? I was like, hell yeah, you can.
What? $195? No!
Well, you can get it cheaper in the add-ons.
When I got when I chose my pledge, the only add-on it told me was the song, and I'm like, wait, there's no plushie add-on?
Oh, you got the PDF. Yeah. Which
Hey,
PDF
how'd
did
you
you
know?
get? Did you get the who?
Oh, that's so cute.
The Kent Hunt. It's awesome. It's badass. Yeah. Kent.
I love this logo so much.
Beautiful. Kent
Oh,
Hunt.
here we go. Here's the lyrics. Finally, the musica. If you hear any loud noise, my dog just came home. Yay.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Now I gotta send it to him.
The beautiful statues. Everything's so beautiful. I want it all. I can't because I'm poor, especially since this bill. Oh, I love the claws.
Oh, his feet. Yeah. I love his feet. She's like, has he got normal feet? I'm like, nope.
He will never have normal feet.
Nope.
So I was like, is not everything is black and white, right? Is it color and black and white?
Okay, so whatever you got the PDF, right? Is that what you bought?
For now, I usually update later.
Oh. So the PDF, well, I guess anything you get would get the PDF. So the PDF is black and white and color. And also you get there's like 7 other electronic bundles that you get. So you'll get 7 under issue 1s that are also in the horror genre. So if you get PDF for $10, you actually are getting 6 PDFs that have to do with the story, because it's 3 black and white and 3 in color, and then you get the 7 electronic bundle. So for $10, you pretty much get 13 PDFs. So for $10.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're spoiling people out here, bro.
I get yelled at a lot because if you look at my rewards, there's like a ton, because I keep at like the next one will have what the last one had. And they're always like, you put too much. And I was like, I just want everyone to see everything.
Got keychains. We got campaign buttons.
Yeah, we actually have, there's 2 buttons. There's an angel button and there's a demon button, and you get to choose which one you want to support, or you could choose them both. I will say that
like Twilight.
Yeah, I will say that there's no good side or bad side, but demons do generally have more fun. So it's mostly, those are the other plushies. Somebody bought one of every plushie, so I was like, wow.
They have to role play too, so
yeah. Yeah.
You got Legos. Oh
yeah, and I'm actually working on an Anubis Lego. I'm gonna make it myself. I didn't make those, but I'm gonna make it myself because that person refuses to make Anubis. He says it's too hard. I'm like, you made people. How is Anubis harder? So I'm gonna do Anubis. But and then these are all the indies. There's the werewolf one, which is awesome. The one below that. But they're all that one right there. These are all the campaigns that I backed or recommend backing and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, this one's Rob's, isn't it?
Rob's. That's who we're gonna have a crossover with. So
yeah. Oh gosh, I can't wait. Every single time I've ever tried to back his comic, I end up being poor, so I always had to cancel. I never had good luck with any of his campaigns. Oh, intrusive thoughts as well. Nice. Well, let's see. Let's go all the way down here. Oops, too far. So the biggest one is $650. Super
well, that's
rare
statue. That's the clay of our statues. But I might be able to do it. We're trying to make smaller ones so that they're a little bit more affordable. And I'm also getting chibi ones done. And I was surprised that Jessica wanted chibi Draven, but we decided that an angry chibi Draven would be adorable as hell. So we are getting chibi Draven and Seraphina and Anubis, and then we're gonna have statues made. We're having a statue made right now of Skeleton Bird, which is on the cover. I think you saw it when it went through, and of the zombie merman is also going to be a statue and a plushie, so you can get zombie merman plushies too. So we get them first, though, right, Jessica? We will test them for you guys and let you know. But yeah,
going down here.
All these indie people are amazing. I mean, they really are. I mean, look, there's a demon slaying Winnie the Pooh. So, I mean, you have to go back all those.
I've seen this before. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is that the Winnie the Pooh one where he's some sort of fighter?
Yes, he's a demon slayer.
I wouldn't have thought that with his fist bloodied. I thought it was a boxer.
Yeah.
Whoops. Where am I?
I don't know. You're still
I never know.
At the very bottom. Yeah, me neither.
All right, I'm here.
So how did you, when it came to your artist?
Oh, funny story. Yeah, so we went through, Jessica probably knows this more than I think 35 artists. We are super picky, especially with Draven, because I don't know what it is about Draven. No one could draw Draven. I didn't think he was that hard, but whatever. We could not find an artist that we liked. So we went through like at least 35 artists. We spent hundreds of dollars on
Wow.
it. Just over and over. It was driving us so much. It was driving us to insanity, pretty much. So we had an artist that we kind of liked, and we used them, and they screwed us out of $3,000, and then we lost $5,000 because we did not like the issue, and we decided to redo it. So to redo it, we had to go through all over again. But at least people kind of knew what our story was, or we could show them kind of what the story was. So I was more picky, and I stopped with the design. I just said I want a page. Do a page of my characters looking like this, and that way we could see them in movement, and we could decide if we wanted to. And then I always got to use Jessica as an excuse, like, oh, Jessica didn't like it. My co-writer didn't like it. We can't do it. So I felt bad because some of them were really good. Some of them were awful, but some of them were really good, and I had to be like, it looks amazing. But
Oh no.
So it got exhausting, and she's like, just use me, and I was like, I did. I used her every time. So by the time this artist came to me, I had 5 people doing free test pages because I was just sick of paying. I was like, if anyone wants to do it, you could just send it to me. So I had 5 people working on it, and he came, and I this is gonna sound wrong. It's not that I didn't like his style; it didn't fit what I want. It almost looked too realistic, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And he goes, are you taking, submissions or whatever? I was like, listen, this is the deal I'll make you. I have 5 submissions coming. If you want to do a free one, I will look at it right away. If you don't, I'm going to go through these 5. And if I don't like them, I will pay you for a page. He's like, I'll do a free one. I was like, whatever. So he went and drew it. And I couldn't even talk. I sent it to Jessica. I was like, this is the him. And she's like, fuck yeah. So I went back. I told everyone else to stop. We hired him. And he's been amazing ever since. And he's on vacation for a month, and Jessica and I are going through withdrawals because we would get like pages a day. Now we're like, we need pages. So
he's fired, is what you're saying. I see.
No, he draws our characters so amazing that we could never replay. He's already signed up. He's like, he's gonna do all. So I think I told him, I was like, we have 75. He's like, 75 works. I was like, yeah, but it's 75 now. So by the time you get to 75, which is like what, 10 years, you're gonna have more. So he's severely under. Hi. Aw.
I love it. It doesn't show the emoticons. So you got hand pink waving, face blue smiling.
I love you,
Thank you, Nick.
Yes. So I will say, and poor Jessica had to listen to me rant and rave about it. My art, and he knows, so it's not bad if he listens to this. We butt heads on the first issue he did was issue 2, and we butt heads galore. And he had a vision, and I had a vision, and Jessica had this fortunately same vision as me. So we would like be going back and forth, and we would fight about it and argue about it and yell about it. And finally, I realized that he's too. My husband's like, get somebody else. I'm like, no, he's the artist. I just have to get past this one thing. So I wound up redoing the scripts to fit his style, because he will turn. I was doing like 4 to 6 panels before, but he needs more leeway. So I cut it down to 3 to 4, and then he will turn 3 to 4 into like 7, but like the most amazing, images. And he wasn't just doing regular panels or whatever. He would like just do whatever. Like, it was all over the place, but it was so action packed and so amazing. And by the end of issue 2, it worked out so much better. And you could tell in issue 3 that he just got so into he's like, I know these characters now, and it's them in every page. And then that's when we're like, okay, you're leaving in a month, and I have a campaign coming, but you have to redo our issue 1 because we want you to redo issue 1. So he wound up, and he worked his ass off to redo issue 1. And I mean, he worked, and of course he's moving during that week, so he had to get up early and do it, and work on weekends. And
oh my God, poor guy.
I felt so bad. And I said, listen, we're gonna give you a bonus. I think I didn't have a lot of money. I was like, we're gonna do like $100 bonus. He's like, you don't have to worry about it. I was like, it's for my own guilt level. I'm giving you $100. It's
yeah,
not a
Tristan,
lot.
pay the guy. Bad. Sheesh.
But I felt really bad. But yeah, he's severely. This is his first paid job, by the way. So if you
wow, that's awesome. Then
I was supposed to tell you that part, but that is like the best part, because
that is so great.
Yeah, and so it was both of us, going through this together. I mean, when Jessica and I decided to do this, and she'll remember this probably like it was yesterday. I hired an artist that day, the day we decided. I went on Reddit and I hired an artist. And then I'm texting her at night and I said, I don't know how to do a script. She's like, you figure it out. And I was like, shit.
I was actually going to ask you about that, because you said you did these were novels before, right? Mm-hmm. How hard was it going from a long form novel process to putting it in script format?
Yeah. So yeah, the comics are adaptation of our novels that are unpublished. So the thing was, I thought it was going to be really hard. So I got up and I watched a video from, I think his name was Matt Garvey, and it was like how to do a script. And I feel bad because he flat out said, no matter what, only do like a 4-page comic to start. And I was like, yeah, my first one's 28 pages. And it's gonna be a long thing. So I watched his thing, and then I was like, I told Jessica, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this. And I kid you not, like I wrote 2 words, and then it was done. Like the whole script was converted. What I do is I would take what we wrote, and I have to shift through her reply, which is way more fun than shifting through my reply. And then I would convert that to the action, and then I would do mine, and then I would merge them so that that's what they're doing at the same time. So I have to move the speech. So it was exhausting, but it was awesome at the same time. And then I would send it to her for approval. We'd kind of like tweak the dialogue and stuff, because now they're actually talking to each other instead of like, delayed reaction. So it came a lot easier. But yeah, it's harder because of the dialogue. But since we decided to use thought bubbles, it made it a lot easier, because I'm like, I'm not taking out all these thoughts. I mean, the first like 30,000 words is probably them thinking to each other. So,
oh no, I'm thinking about Kylo Ren and Rey. Oh no, probably not as cringy yet.
But yes, we have thought bubbles, and that'll probably never go away, because even later in the series, they're still thinking about certain things and all that fun stuff. But you have completely different story ideas for future comic series. The only other comic, we pretty much just, it's always these characters. So we do have a story where it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where they go through each portal, but that's where the mini mini series comes in, because they're gonna go through portals and into these different comic worlds, like the Kingdom Hearts went into each different cartoon or movie or whatever. So they're going to jump into the portals, and some of the characters will go with them, and some of them will stay in their worlds, and some of them will be like guest stars in the background that just wanted to appear. And I love crossovers, especially as a kid. Like every time my characters were in something, I was like, there's another character from that character, and I'm like, yeah. So definitely love crossovers. So we're excited to write that. So yeah, we'll probably never not write these characters, even when we do the prequel. We're going to write about their fathers, but it's going to be them every 100 years. They live every 100 year in a period. So we're going to have like Vikings and medieval times and different. We get to put them in different scenarios in each one, and probably we get to come up with very unique deaths. Like burning at the stake or whatever. But it'll be like interesting to go through that and to see. We get to do where they first met, when they were first soulmates, and he was created to actually destroy her and to steal the weapon. But the moment he saw her, he was instantly connected to her. So he actually betrayed his own.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
We're suckers for that.
I'm such a sucker for that.
Yeah. So the best part is you get to see them. I mean, they'll do anything for each other. And she does listen to him later on when he will tell her to stay back, or she'll stay back for like a minimum amount of time. But if he gets hurt at all, so she has a healing power that they can't control their powers very much, but they come out and burst. Like if he fights, he might get some dark power. She has this thing where if she's so worried about him and she touches him, she'll actually heal his wound, but then she gets the wound, which he hates above all else because now she's hurt and he's better.
I'll just get the boiling hot water.
Yeah, and then you get to throw into boiling hot water. Yeah, there's this thing we did in spinoff, which I wish we could just skip through, where they have their memories erased and they're sent to a lab where they're again trained, but now she has her wings out all the time, and he finds her in a cage and he's instantly connected to her, but he doesn't know why because they have no memories and all this stuff. So it was so fun to write them, not knowing each other, but like wanting to help the other one, like beyond anything. And it was so cool to see it. And I wish I could just jump to it, but it's like, I don't even remember book 3. I think, yeah, book 3. So it'll be a while.
I'm surprised you don't remember book 3. You've been so extremely detailed for this entire thing.
I know, I love it though. It's so this is so rare.
I want your brain.
I know, the passion is amazing. I honestly am so impressed at the passion alone. You don't get that a lot of times, especially with mainstream comics, right? I've had pros on that are just like, yeah, I wrote Batman. Batman did this. Like, you don't get this level of detail and level of commitment. And I absolutely adore it. I think it's amazing.
Well, we said if we could, like if we had money, like if we were rich, these would just be made and released to everyone for free because we just want to see them made. And we love the story. We want other people to read it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So we do have to sell them. And probably we're not really doing it for profit. So like any profit we do will probably go to our artist because he's severely underpaid. But we're hopefully making enough. The whole goal is to make enough where they pay for themselves so that we can keep doing this because we do want to see all 35 issues. And we do want to do the spinoff because we get to see them. Oh, hi. I love people that say they love me. I feel so loved. But yes, Jessica says we're obsessed with the obsession. And you think we literally said it today because we don't understand how we don't get sick of it. And we get so passionate about it. And now we're all excited because series 2 is going to be the Anubis and Hades and Hell and everything, and we don't really think ahead when we write. We'll sit down and then we'll write it, especially me. She thinks way more than me, and I feel bad about it because she's like, I don't know how you write so fast. And I was like, it's because I don't think. And I tried her way. I tried the real way where you sit down and you try to make it sound like, the show don't tell. I did all the research. This is how you phrase a sentence and this. And I was like, nah. It's too exhausting.
Not me.
Not me. And I said, are you sure you like my writing? And she's like, I love your writing. And I was like, I don't know how you love my writing. And she says, I don't know how you love my writing. So fortunately, we love each other's writing, and hopefully other people like our writing too, because the story is just, we're passionate. We're just a little bit passionate about it. And it's probably never going to change because it's been 2.5 years. And we just get more and more obsessed. And just when we think that we can't come up with another idea, we're just like, you are not the slow. You wrote 4,000 words on Friday. Shut the hell up. She's like, I'm the world's slowest writer. You are not. You are not the world's slowest.
I was going to say, I can write less than a paragraph. And the paragraph is not 5 sentences. It's 3 to 4 sentences.
So I write faster than her, but because she does the whole show don't tell and it's like the real way to write, hers winds up being twice as long. So it's not that she's slow, it's that you're proper and you write like a badass, whereas I just write everything that happens. Always speaks. Yeah. Yeah, with the whole myth, I wish I could skip to everything because I want to do the mythology in like series 2 when they jump through portals and stuff, which is why we're doing the mini series because we want to hurry up and jump through portals and stuff. I'm reading the things.
Did you guys? You did the novels first. Are those published too?
No, so what happened was, because we wrote as role players, so what happens is I started with a starter, and then she writes back her, how she gets to meet our characters. So what happens is I will write a chapter, and then Jessica will go and write a chapter of Draven replying or reacting to everything we do. I give myself plenty of credit. It's 0, but so I'm arguing with Jessica in the thing. Yes, Jessica's cool. She's awesome. She's the best. And she could do this totally without me, even though she'll never admit it. But so I will write a chapter, and then we love reactions. We love how the other ones react. So let's say I get to write where Serafina goes into the library and she looks around, and then she will get grabbed or from the zombies and pulled through, whatever. So then she gets to write, obviously it's way longer than that, but then she'll write Draven's reaction to that happening. So she'll write, Draven sees it happen, he runs after, he does whatever his reaction is. So we get to see the reaction, and then she'll add on to it. And then I will give my reaction to what she adds on, and then I'll start over and write. But yeah, 4,000 words. So generally we write, I usually write 2,000 to 4,000 words in 3 hours. And if Jessica is left alone in peace, hint, hint to her husband, if he ever watches this, if she's left alone in peace, she can write 4,000 freaking words. Yeah, but see, we can't wait that long, and we'll send each other paras as we go, because we need teasers, because we'll get to, I think the one we're writing now, which I guess I'm not supposed to say, but there's something that happens where somebody tries to kiss Serafina, which she's only ever kissed Draven. So this person's trying to kiss her, and Draven sees it. So obviously he goes berserk and tries to kill the guy. So obviously I was dying to see. As you would, yeah. So I was dying to see her reaction. So she'll write it and then send it to me right away, because I'm not waiting for her to write 4,000 words, even if it is only a couple hours. It's not. And she started the teaser thing because she thought she was slow, and I didn't want to say no because I want the teasers. So she started doing that, where she's like, I'll send you a teaser if you shut up. And I was like, sure. And then she'll send me a teaser, and I was like, now I need more. I was like, go write more. And we always tell each other to not rush when all we want to say is hurry up and write. So we try to be as polite as possible, but we both know the words between the line is just hurry the hell up and write more. So
yeah, exactly. Oh, you owe me $500? Yeah, no rush. Send it to me in 10 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Jessica wrote, I get bored overly quick, so us writing this out. Yeah, that. I was like, I'm surprised she doesn't get bored. I don't know. We talk to each other 24/7 when we're not writing. And I don't know how she puts up with me. I'm lucky that she does, but I don't know how she does it. But yeah, so we think we ran out of ideas, and we're like, this is the best idea we've ever come up with. And then 4 seconds later, I was like, oh shit, what if we do this? So the best part about us is we'll each come up with mostly a lot of times dreams. We're like, oh, I had this dream. Oh, we have to do that. But we'll have this tiny little idea, and then we'll make it grow, the two of us. And if I come up with something, she's like, oh, what if we did this? I was like, oh, we have to do that. And then this whole thing about having to do that. So that's how our story, that's all we do. That's our planning. We go berserk over something, a thought, and then we write it out. But like I said, she thinks way more than I do. I have no thought process whatsoever, and I write. But she seems to like it, and we have a story, so I guess I'm doing okay.
I think you guys are doing great.
I was gonna say better than okay. I think this is I think this is amazing. It's I know you said it's an obsession with an obsession, but it also is kind of perfect for fans, because you always crave more at the end of a good comic, and with you, we know there will be more coming. We know that you're so far ahead. What do you have planned after? So you've got issues 1 through 3 in this one.
This is one. So it could be every month, but I was told not to do it every month. So every other month there'll be an issue on Kickstarter. So issue 4 is going to be April 18th Kickstarter. And so that'll start the introduction of the clotters. And then in issue 5, they get to finally talk, and then they go after the Clotters because they can follow your scent for life. So they have to go destroy the entire nest of Clotters. So we wrote that. So issue 1 through 7 should be out, I would say, I'm going to give us a cushion, by September. And then we'll release the graphic novel for 1. And then we'll go back and we'll start book 2, which would be the continuation. And book 2 is called Failed Decisions, which has way more than one meaning to it. And there's I
relate to that title.
Yeah. So, yeah, we do. So for this is 35 issues, and it'll be released as the 35 issues and as the 5 graphic novels. And then sometime in between, if this is popular enough, Dead Guy says lexicon. I have, it's gonna probably kill me. So if you don't see me at the end of the year, I died. But I have 10 cons set up. So
oh my goodness,
I've never done a con before. My first con is tiny, and it's this next. It's this coming Saturday, the day before my birthday. So I'm gonna plug that a lot. Like, it's my birthday tomorrow. Buy a comic. And then the following week I have a 1-day one. But March 23rd is my biggest one, and it's going to be in Lexington, Kentucky. And it's the Toy and Comic Convention. It's 4 freaking days. So I hopefully will survive that. I do have a new banner. This is one banner that'll be there. And then I have a huge banner, which now I regret not having open, and it's all the way over there. I have a banner of Anubis fighting our fur demon, which is this guy. He's a deer demon with wings.
Oh my god, I love him so much.
A fire tail, and he's got a pirate coat.
I love him! He's so cute!
Jessica's is badass and has a biker jacket, but I had to have the petticoat, so we put the petticoat. He's badass, and he'll be in book 2 fighting Anubis and screwing with their lives even more. In mythology, he's a dark Cupid, but he's kind of angry. So, yeah, he's kind of angry because Draven, of course, effed up and scarred him, and now there's a huge fight. Draven just screws up everything.
Draven,
and that guy's going to come.
Everybody hates Draven.
Yeah, Draven. Draven is got the most personality of the characters, and our characters are pretty much alive in our head. Like, half the time we'll argue with them during the scene. And I did this one scene that I just can't believe I argued with this character in my head. I'm writing it out. And I'm like, I literally was saying, this makes no sense. I don't know where this is going. And I could just hear my character be like, will you just be patient? And I was like, I don't know where this is going. So I just kept writing, and I kept wanting to start over, and I kept arguing with myself. And finally I wrote it, and Jessica's like, that was awesome. I was like, I don't even know what I wrote. So, we'll argue with their characters a lot. And they usually win. So
is Anubis, because you talked about him a lot. Is he like the, I don't want to say main villain, because obviously there is a bunch.
No, actually, he's not a villain at all. So, Anubis is, he's being controlled. And the only reason why I'm telling you is because there's this unique thing that, I don't know if the page was there. Oh, actually, I think it was. If you want to go back to the page, you could see it, but you have to scroll into it. So, in his belt, this is her father. In his belt, there's a remote control that controls Anubis. And our runes always spell something. I don't know if you can see the little there.
It's so pretty.
The runes spell Anubis on it. So if you guys ever look up the runes in anywhere, it'll spell what it's supposed to spell, or it'll be a sentence or a warning. In the prequel, there's warnings all over the caves, and they actually spell stuff. So this is he's being controlled. So right now he's under that her father's control, but eventually they're going to free him, and in series 2 he's actually going to help them, because technically Anubis is not bad. He is the god of the underworld, and he's a very awesome god. I know, but so he'll be on their side later on, but for now he's a terrifying creature that just chases them with this giant freaking staff and tries to destroy them. So and the Hellhounds are being controlled by Draven's father, so they get to have a battle later too. So just great.
Not gonna lie, that plushie looks so high quality.
I was thinking the same thing when she showed the books. Like, not a lot. Sometimes you get kind of crappy books. Those look really thick pages.
Oh, so sorry. These are they're 80-pound weighted glossy pages. These are not thin pages. They are actually the same technical thickness of the cover. And yes, I could have went cheaper, and yes, I was told to go cheaper, but his art just belongs on these gorgeous freaking pages, and the dark tones that come out. Like there's one, I could show you, wrong book. Let's see. So there's this one where they're under the moon after he tackles the poor girl to the ground. If you could see the moon, he just did such an amazing job. And
wow.
And you probably can't see it here, but in the very, very, very back, there is the ghosts are coming, and there's a cloud of people, and then they're there. So the next page, they're closer up. So you guys have to pay attention to the back all the time. And that's probably bad news, because you'll probably find all the errors we make. But I'll just tell you that they're on purpose, because that's how I'm going to roll. But this is them. They get to hold hands. Granted, it was because she pulled them into the gate, but we gave them a minute or 30 seconds of holding hands. And then they see all the dead bodies and everything. So, and I can show you, this is the zombie merman that comes out of the water and drags her under. And then you have to read.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
Zombie merman just sounds awful, and then to see it, holy crap.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see my statue artist is working on it now. Like, I just did it yesterday. I'm like, listen, I need a statue for the zombie merman for reasons. And he's like, okay. And then I when I went to the con to visit Rob, I call her my plushie queen. She was there, and I was looking at all her plushies, and I said, you have a sort of merman, but I need it in reverse. Like, the arms are actually octopus tentacles, and he's got legs with claws like Anubis. And she's like, I can do that. So she's going to do that. And then she's going to do the skeleton birds, which I love. I love the skeleton birds because they come through the glass, and it just looks so amazing. To just see them burst through the glass. And
oh my goodness,
she's such a badass. She grabs the handle of a mop and breaks it, and then like kills it with the mop. So my plushie queen. Yeah.
I remember when somebody called me queen after I showed them where the bathroom was. They're like, where's the bathroom? And I'm like, oh, it's right there. She's like, thanks, queen. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jessica loves the body. I don't know why you're so obsessed with that. I mean, it's badass, but she's just like, you gotta. It's just that body. Where is it?
Body, yaddy, yaddy,
cool
yaddy, yaddy.
Where the hell did I do it? Oh, wrong book. I knew that.
Dang it, Corissa. We trusted you. We believed in you.
Right. So right here is the all those ghosts that attack them. These are their bodies. So that's why she's like, holy hell, I found their bodies. And it's really funny because my mom bought these. I don't know why. She doesn't read horror. But she actually read it, and she goes, so about your story, I read it. And I go, uh-oh. She goes, except for all the F words, it was really good. I was like, okay.
That's so cute, though.
And then she goes, there was this part where Serafina goes, holy hell. And she goes, I can hear you saying that because all I ever say is holy hell. So she's like, I heard that in your voice. And I was like, yeah. But yeah. Jessica's like, I'm a horror and gore whore and can't be sorry. Yeah, you shouldn't be sorry. We love the gore. It was hard to genre this book. I mean, it's horror, but it's action, it's adventure, it's romantic. I mean, we need Jessica, we need to come up with a name for our genre. Like the alphabet. It's the alphabet. Yeah.
The everything genre.
Everything. And I wish I had the cover of, I don't have the cover. So you've seen Supernatural, right? I think you said you saw Supernatural.
Never.
Oh, never?
You should see the Scooby-Doo crossover as your first episode.
That one's awesome. Actually,
That one is good, and she doesn't like Scooby-Doo much, so I'm like, yeah, use that. You'll have a fun time. You'll talk.
Yeah.
You'll see Daphne talking about going to hell and being afraid of it. You have Velma attracted to one of the guys.
Yeah, and Dean.
And I'm like, good choice, Velma.
Yeah, I like having Jessica when I'm live because I usually stuck doing these by myself, and now I get to argue with her in the comments, which I like.
I'm sorry, we're like double teaming you. Pause.
Oh no! Oh, so yeah, so about Supernatural, because someone just said yes, Supernatural. Our cover for 4 is an homage. It's spelled horrible for a dyslexic, but I guess it's homage. Can I get to it here? Let me see if I can get to it.
That's hilarious because I always said homage. I'm going to say homage from now on because I don't know either.
I think it's homage. I don't know. And it was so funny because I asked my husband, I had to Google it, but I asked my husband, what's the difference between homage and stealing? And he goes, your popularity. And I was like, well, that's not good.
And it's true. We've talked about this before, Tristan. When? I don't remember. I know we talked about it though.
Yeah,
it's French or something.
Yes, and it's a weird word, especially like. Did you say you're dyslexic?
Yes, I'm very dyslexic.
I am too, and it's like, and it's funny because
that was awful.
Like, ha, bitch, you're dyslexic. Sorry. No, I totally get it, and it struggles with words like that or saying things back. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Whoops. I'm gonna take it off later, but I wanted to show whoever likes Supernatural. This is my obsession. I need to show you the new compliment the way that one was the best one, but we both hate designing covers. So generally I give the freedom and say, yeah, do whatever. But for this one, I couldn't think of what to do because I had a variant cover being done with vampires, and I had a variant cover being done with a bar fight, and so I didn't know what to do. So somebody said you can do an homage to which I think it's how it says. You could do an homage to Supernatural, and I was like, well, hell yeah. So okay, if you go back to the page, and it's at the very top because I know you probably don't want to scroll down. So if you want to go, yeah, Jessica is gonna join next time because I'm her emotional support bestie. I love you, Jessica. But
I honestly want to say, like, I don't want anybody who's dyslexic putting themselves down. Sylvester Stallone is freaking dyslexic. Oh gosh, maybe I am too, but that has nothing to do with me. I'm not even reading. He's dyslexic, and he wrote the Rambo movie.
Yeah. So can you go to the I don't know if we have time. Do you have time to go to the Kickstarter just to show the one thing at the top?
Of course I can. How dare ye? I totally did not accidentally go out of it for any reason at all.
Sorry. But I
we're
love
good.
I love this cover. And if anyone likes Supernatural, I have to show off this cover.
What was I doing?
You're looking for the Kickstarter.
Oh, snap. Yeah. What am I... I'm sorry. This is the second time that happened to me live. I'm like, what am I doing again?
Yes.
Yes. Here we go. Allow. Awesome.
Boop. Okay, so go all the way to the top. Yeah. Okay, now just scroll down just a little bit. Is it not? Oh, refresh it. I think you have to refresh it.
Woo.
I did hit save, so try to refresh it. I'm like the most demanding guest on here. Okay, so now scroll down, see if it worked. Yes, there. Okay, so make this big because I want to show the car.
That is so good. Oh my goodness.
Oops.
Always happens when I leave. Let me.
Oh, I thought I was like, oh my god, I froze.
Hold on.
I think I accidentally muted myself mid-sentence. I'm sorry. All I said was, I got to bring it up on my screen. And I went to go bring it up on the other screen and I hit mute instead.
Nice. Yeah, so that's the homage to Supernatural. And the license plate on the back of the car is Dean's birthday. So.
Woo! Oh, snap, his birthday passed. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So yeah, that's them looking badass. So
it's so good.
I found out someone yelled at me and said that the middle light is supposed to be white on those 3 lights, so it will be edited. But yeah, it's supposed to be white. Anyway,
$25 more.
So yeah, so that's going to be the cover for April 18th. I'm already plugging the next one because this one isn't even done yet. But if anyone does want to ever look for our stuff on Kickstarter, all you have to do is search Worthy Chaos because it'll pop up on Kickstarter, and we're the only ones that pop up. And I keep saying that, which means somebody's probably going to go and be like, I want to be Worthy Chaos, and then steal it. But for now, we're the only ones that pop up. And the reason why it's called Worthy Chaos is because because of her angel blood, it attracts everything evil. So she causes all this chaos, and he always says it's worth it. So it's worth it.
I love that. Everything's sweet in it. I'm like, it's so cute.
I'm Dean all the way, baby. So yeah, Team Dean. I've actually hung out with them. I've talked to them all. I have pictures with them. I went on a cruise with Misha, who's Castiel, and danced with him when he was drunk, and it was great. But Dean, Jensen, I've hung out with for like half an hour at one of the cons. I have several pictures. So yeah, they're all amazing and they're all nice. And I get to tell this story real quick. So I went to my very, 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 very first con with them. It was like, I don't know, 12 years ago. And I was with both of them. So I went to go between them, and Jared, who's Sam, stepped on my foot, and I fell into Jensen, and Jensen caught me. And I was so paranoid now that I couldn't even touch them. So I had like my hand, I look like T-Rex when I was taking the picture.
Oh no!
So then like 2 or 3 months later, I went backstage at a different con, and Jared walks in and he goes, "Weren't you the girl I stepped on?" I was like, "Yes."
And I never lost
God,
that foot since.
So yes, he remembered me. And
that's so cool.
And then when I went to the last con in December, I saw him, and he looked at me funny. I was like, "I'm the one you stepped on." I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I was like, "It was 12 years ago. I think I made it." So he's like,
No, I had to take off all my toes, and they're all like robotics now.
They're all preserved, more like it.
I just didn't make an impression. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen Shaun of the Dead with Simon Pegg?
Yes.
Okay.
That I did see.
I love Simon Pegg. And I've always loved Simon Pegg. And he was playing, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Spaced, he was on, and he was playing Resident Evil 2. So I've never written, even as a teenager, I've never written to any actor ever. And I wrote to him and I sent him a limited edition Leon card. And I got back, and I don't even have it anymore because I didn't really care. I got back a signed autograph of all of them, like a generic picture. Yeah, I got stepped on by a moose. And then 2 weeks later, he sent me a personalized one that was unique that you never see.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm guessing they finally gave him the card. So 10 years later, when I went to get his autograph in New York City, I went up to him and I goes, "You're not going to remember this, but like 10 years ago or whatever, I sent you something in the mail." And he goes, "Leon card?" And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "I still carry it around with me." And I was like, "You just made my entire lifetime." So yeah.
That is so cool. I wrote to Hanson when I was in the 5th grade and never heard back. I'm so jealous.
Yes, Edgar Wright rules too. I love his movies. But yeah. The cons, they don't do these at the cons anymore. Like, we got to go on a cruise ship with them. Misha remembered me because I go to every single one of his meet and greets, and he would like drag me along everywhere. And I yelled at him because I said, "This is my last day at the con, so I'm carrying like my luggage." And he's like, "You're fine." And we walked like blocks, and I'm like, "Thanks." Such a gentleman. But no, he's really funny. And he made fun of me because I told him that my dog was named after him, Misha. And he's like, "I don't know if that's good or bad." And I was like, I was like, whatever.
Yes.
So, but yeah, but I love them. They're so funny and so down to earth when you meet them in person, and they're just really nice to get along with. And we're probably going to another con. I was going to sell these at the con, and I keep getting mixed reviews. Like some people said that they would sell great at the Supernatural cons, and then other people are like, well, it's not them, so it might not. So I don't know how it's going to be. So we'll see.
It's always different when you go to cons. As somebody who like only goes to the cons in Florida because that's where I live and I don't travel. Like I met this year. No, sorry, last year. No, wait, there was a con this year. I'm pretty sure there was one this year or very late last year that I went to, and I went to somebody called Merc Comics, that kind of stuff, and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is like Miss Meow. This is that." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh," he's like,
I love Merc.
Miss Meow, and he's like, "I'm like, yeah, I know Miss Meow. I follow Comics Elite, that." He's like, "Oh wow," he's like, "To be honest, you're the very first person who ever said anything about knowing Miss Meow," and actually, technically, I was like the third or fourth person in that con, but me and my brother go into the afternoon. So, like, the cons usually finish in like a few hours. So I'm like, are you telling me, like, even I don't have to know Miss Meow to see like this comic book cover and this beautiful art, but nobody approached you? He's like, yeah, everybody's just been, passing by. And I'm like, what the heck? He's like, it's honestly not the best cons I've been at. And that makes me so sad. But everybody's going to, like, every single row, every single aisle, crystals. People selling crystals. We got Pokemon themed crystals. We got Yu-Gi-Oh themed crystals. Really? And there are like tons of people over there. And I'm like, yo, when is this? I thought this was a Comic Con, not a Crystal Con. Not that type of crystals.
I can't believe nobody knew Merc. That's crazy. Like,
at least in this area.
Well, I mean, I suppose I understand why, but they've got they've got some great comics, and I kind of stand for them every once in a while. Just saying.
I just have a question. So random dude, he's talking about the finger gun game. I just need to know, are you talking about the one in Spaced where they're fighting each other with finger? Did you guys ever see Spaced or no?
No, I thought it was a book for some reason.
So Spaced is see that one. I don't know if he's talking about what I'm thinking of, but there's an episode of Spaced where you know how guys will like pretend to shoot each other with guns. So they're being chased by these gangs, and all of a sudden they like pull out the guns and they start shooting each other with fake guns, like their fingers, and they're just making the sound effects and all this. It was freaking hysterical. If any pop culture that you like from that, then you should watch the show Spaced. I think it's on, I'm sure it's somewhere, probably Prime or something. It's only like 12 episodes, I think, with the two. Yeah, Spaced. Yep. And so they had these finger gun things, and it's just so funny. But they talked about Buffy and Star Wars and all these different, and X-Files, because he has a crush on Buffy at one point.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah, so you got to watch it. But that part is one of the best parts. And I just watched the behind the scenes from it where they were like, we just told them to do whatever. And they would like have like pretend blood coming out. So they'd be like this with the blood and falling back and like shooting each other. So it was funny. But yeah, sorry, that was random. But he said finger guns and I had to say it. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
You're fine. All right. Wow, we got a pretty good show going on. You guys are so attentive. I hate these types of words, bro. I'm so happy that you guys came over and asked questions, and you guys are so passionate. And then you and Jessica are also so passionate. Too bad we're going to have to finish up, and we're going to have to stop the stream right over here. Even though I feel like I can listen to you talk for hours, to be honest. Like,
I know. I honestly, like, this is so refreshing. I love this level of passion in comics because I'm the same way, right? So when I see somebody else that is just absolutely all in on it, it's refreshing. Honestly, you are probably my favorite interview that I have had in a very long time. I mean, I know it's Bianca's interview, but I just wanted to say
that everyone knows she has to say that. But thank you.
No, I'm not kidding. Like, I, and not to anything wrong with Dan Jurgens, but it was like pulling teeth to get questions answered. Like, I love Dan Jurgens, but I was like, So Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, and it's like, yep, I write those characters. But this is so cool. I love it. You're amazing.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd love to come back for my next campaign sometime in April or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. And I'll drag Jessica on too, and then we can all.
Please, Jessica.
There we go.
You're our only hope.
I'll probably barely give her any time to talk. But she's not a very big talker, so we complete each other then. So, but yeah.
We're about to end. Pops.
Hi, Pops. Pops is super supportive of me, and he's amazing too. So his channel's great, and I'm so glad I came on. That was all. Vengeance Productions told me to come on here, and Edmond and all them said to come to you guys and said you were awesome. Dead Guy said that you're his favorite ladies and that I had to come on and
Score.
I haven't talked to Vengeance Productions in such a long time. I should DM him, seeing how he's doing. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky because Pops, Vengeance, and you guys are definitely my favorite so far. I've only hated one, and I won't talk about who it is, but it was very condescending, and everything I said, he said I said wrong. So I was very upset the whole time I was on the show.
No.
And he wouldn't let me talk, and then finally he told me to pitch, and now I'm like in a heart attack. And then when he's like, I literally said 2 sentences, and he's like, no, wait, stop. That's not what you're supposed to say. I'm like, I don't.
How rude!
I just want to go.
You always let the guests talk. If you can't, shut your mouth, you mute yourself. And I won't shut my mouth, but I won't mute myself because I like adding commentary. But it is all about the guest. We have to make the guests feel great, special, loved, and that we are here to listen.
You're awesome. I will come on anytime you want to put up with me. I really loved being on here. It's awesome. So I was very nervous because one, I haven't, most of them have been men that I posted. So I was just like, I think the only one that was female is Lori, who was amazing.
I wanted an all-female stream. There, I said it. My plan has been revealed. That's why I asked Tristan. I'm like, more females. The females fatales.
Yeah. So, but I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm glad I came on because you guys are awesome. And I subscribed to your channel, and I subscribed from Worthy Chaos, and I'll subscribe from my Corissa channel too because what the hell. I want to have you on both of them. So, but anyway, we were gonna hang up, and I kept talking. I'm Italian.
I love it though.
Italians take 7 times to say goodbye, and when I'm talking to Jessica, we'll talk to 2 a.m. and I'll be like, I'm gonna go, and then she's like, okay, goodbye, and I'm like, oh wait, did you know this? And it was like, so yeah. So
I'm not even Italian, and this happens to me, but I have a friend who's Italian, so I understand.
Yeah. So I'm glad you understand. And thanks for letting me ramble on. And thanks, Jessica, for being in the chat and saying the fake nice things you did about me. And I appreciate it. So, and yeah. So anyway, thank you. So
you're welcome. Everybody, check out her campaign. Check out her campaign. Check out, I said campaign so weird. Check out her Twitter. I posted it. You're going to have to scroll up. I'm sorry. I'm too lazy to post it again, but it's there. You guys can scroll up whenever. It's Worthy Chaos at Twitter, just in case. Hopefully she's the only one this time.
Yeah, I'm Worthy Chaos in Twitter, Facebook, probably TikTok, but I haven't been on there in forever. Instagram, I'm never on there. But we're everywhere else. But Kickstarter, definitely, you could just search Worthy Chaos and you'll see us pop right up. So,
are you sure you still have an Instagram, existing?
It's still there. Yeah,
it's still there. I clicked on your website where it says the Instagram and the Twitter notification icon thingies, and it said that this Instagram doesn't exist.
Rude. Okay, yeah, I'll have to fix that. And I just realized it even has this is how old it has all my old art on there. So that's awful. What a horrible freaking.
Oh, no.
Yeah, don't go to Instagram. Go to Twitter and Facebook.
Go to the Instagram.
Don't do Instagram because it has my old art. Because I couldn't find people. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And I just it was just like back in the day. I threw the controller against the wall and moved on. So yeah, but I'm everywhere else. So, but
Find
anyway.
her everywhere else, back her everywhere else, show some support to
Yay.
both Corissa and Jessica, and have a nice day, evening, or night. And goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, guys.